Hello and welcome to the lighting of a Bandai 1/12 scale BB8. This also works with an already assembled model kit. To install the lights, I disassembled the kit in some bigger parts, as you can see on the screen now. So let's start with the lighting of the head. I want to install the red light behind the eyelens and the white light under the eyelens. To manage that, I disassembled the head and drilled holes on the right spots. I used a 0.25mm drill bit to drill the holes for the red light and a 0.5mm drill bit to drill the hole for the white light. After the drilling, I used a 0.25mm fiber optic, mushroomed it and painted in red to simulate the red light behind the islands. For the other light, I used a 0.5mm fiber optic, mushroomed it and painted in white to dim the light a little bit. Here you can see the spot where I've installed the red light. To put the fiber optics through the head, it's necessary to remove a little bit of plastic from this orange and white plastic part. Here you can see where I've removed the plastic and drilled the channel to pass the fiber optic through this disc part, and after that through this hole in the middle of the head to reach the body. So let's put it together now and see how it looks like. After I've reassembled the head, I've drilled a small hole through that white plastic part where the head joins the body to fit the fiber optics through there into the main body. This is the first fitting of the head. Now that's for the head, let's go to the body. For later light blocking, I primed the inside part of the inner body in black. Here's what we have so far. Next step is to find the spots for the light on the body and drill holes for all the fiber optics. Make sure you've got a plan like this to place the lights on the right spots. In fact, that the drill bits I used are really tiny and so a little bit short, I have to remove some plastic on the back side of these panels to get access to my fiber optics. Here you can see where I've removed the plastic on the back side of the panels. To finish the light blocking, I painted the inside part of the inner body with some Vallejo Model Air chrome color. Here you can see me repainting the metallic panels of BB8 with some Vallejo gunmetal, but let's skip that. I test fitted the inside part of the body because I want to make sure that it fits perfectly when I put it together later. This is the result of the test fitting. So now let's start with the body panels. It's basically the same process for all of the panels. After I've drilled the holes, I put the fiber optics through, mushroomed them, painted them if necessary, and glued them in with some white glue. This is the first panel with a blue and a red fiber optic. Here you can see the backside of this panel after I've light blocked it with some tulip. Let's go to panel 2. This is panel 2 with an unpainted fiber optic. Here we have panel number 3 with 4 blue fiber optics. So let's go to panel 4 now. This is panel number 4 with 5 red and 1 blue fiber optic, all of them in 0.25 mm. In panel number 5 I've installed 3 clear fiber optics. And here we have the last panel with a blue and a red one. Here you can see the backside of all the finished panels before I reassembled the kit. So let's put it back together now. To install the panels correctly and fit the fiber optics through the body, it's necessary to drill some more holes through the parts E9 and E8. Here you can see where I've drilled the holes to fit all the fiber optics through the body. It's 1 or 2 holes for each of the panels. After the drilling, I put all the body parts loosely together. That makes it easier to fit the fiber optics through this little hole on part E8, what is basically the underside of the body. After that, I assembled the two halves of the body. Be careful when you press down the panels and make sure that all fiber optics are coming out of the bottom section of the body. If your BB8 looks like this, you can now install the white parts of the body. Finally, you can fit your fiber optics through the bottom plate of the body. This is part D17. In my case, this was a little bit tricky, because the hole I've drilled for that is not so big. So this is the BB8 and R2 before I clear coat them and before the final steps of weathering. After the first light test with a small 3mm LED, I noticed that I forgot the light blocking on the head. But as you can see, I haven't used any glue, so that was no problem. Because some people asked me how I did the weathering, here's what I've done. A few months before I decided to install the lights, I weathered him with a dark panel wash. That is basically a mixture of water, weathering powders and Humbrol decal fix. Then I've gunk washed the body and protect everything with a clear varnish. What I wanted to show you now is my additional weathering. I have mixed a dark brown oil paint and thinners to use this little sponge and dab it over the edges of all the white body parts. After that, I used the same oil paint to dry brush over the same spots. Here you can see one panel before and the other one after the dry brushing. I have repeated this process for all the white panels. I also did some touch-ups on the head, using the same technique. Finally, I protect the results of the weathering with a clear varnish. So now let's connect the fiber optics with the LED and check the final results. I've used a 3mm white LED with a 300 ohm resistor hooked up to a 9V block. I hope this video was interesting and useful for you, and maybe you try to light up your BB8 too. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments or on Facebook or wherever you see this video. So thanks for watching, and hopefully I see you soon when I go on with lighting up the next droid.